Good day, viewer. You're most welcome to the NILE Cast on Westnile Television, where we give you the daily news bulletins of the day. Every day, my name is Okumringa Christine. Before we dive into any of the stories, let's first have a look at the news making headlines. In the headlines today, crowning of Chief Nyasul Achikule as the chief of Ambala Aringa Kingdom.
The cultural institution in this region is now alive.
Era City Council to re-advertise tender for main market.
Both bidders did not actually qualify for award.
And in sports, inter-sub-county primary ball games kick off in Moyo district. This and more in the NILE Cast News Bulletin.
I'm appealing all parents, let's support our children with playing boots, because really playing with barefoot with the somebody wears boots, it is so risky.
Good day again, viewer, and you're most welcome to the NILE Cast on Westnile Television. Now let us dive into some of the stories of the day. The King of Kelalur Kingdom, His Majesty Philip Raoni Olarkel Obimu III, has anonymously appointed new cabinets to work within the next 10 years. In a letter observed by our reporter, 11 cabinet ministers and directors were appointed by the King. Alfred Jawok reports.
King of Alur Kingdom, His Majesty Philip Rauni Olarkel III, has anonymously appointed new cabinets to work within the next 10 years. During a press conference with journalists this afternoon at Kalatiak, King Olarker said the cabinet ministers will help him coordinate the works of the kingdom. In his announcement, section of incumbent ministers retained their positions. According to King Olarker, the appointment took long as he was consulting other kingdoms for guidance to run the kingdom. In a letter observed by our reporter, over 11 cabinet ministers and directors were appointed by the king. He appealed to the newly appointed kingdom officials to work together with the subjects to promote the cultural value of Alur natives.
In drafting these positions, as Obimu, I tasked my people to make the cabinet as brief and relevant as possible. In the past, we attended to copy, or should I say, to use templates for some of these positions. But over the years I've realized that there are only certain areas that affect or greatly affect the people of Nebi, and these are the areas we should concentrate our efforts on. So we have a list of 11 ministers, all, as I said, are headed by Jadipu, or Prime Minister. These ministers, number one, and a very, 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 one of the most important cogs in our system, and I'm happy he's here today, is the Minister for Planning and Finance, Mr. Anewa James Michael. Over the past 4 years has proved very invaluable, not only to this institution, but to Lubin.
The king further stressed that some former cabinet ministers were brought on board due to the tremendous services offered to the kingdom. Meanwhile, the Right Honorable Prime Minister Lawrence Opar Angala, the Prime Minister Alur Kingdom, promised to work with media fraternity to disseminate kingdom's information to the subjects.
As Prime Minister, substantive now, I can speak with authority emanating from the King. And I want to say that we're going to do everything possible to deepen our engagements with our development partners, to deepen engagements with the government of the Republic of Uganda, to deepen engagements with the religious institutions, deepen engagements with our people who are living in the Democratic Republic of Congo, and also deepen our relationship with other cultural institutions in this country through the Uganda Kings and Cultural Leaders Forum, so that we talk as one voice. So we will be collaborating, we will be coordinating, we will also be consulting, so that the dreams of our king can come true in the general framework of what we are doing as in this country. already is our, as you say, Alura Kingdom is our brand, but the people is our mask. He's really doing a good job. They're competing closely with Uganda as the executive, the president, His Excellency the President himself, who are going to deepen working with the politicians. We're going to deepen working with the development partners all over here and abroad. And yes. So this cabinet is going to be very, very, very focused. That's why we made it. His Majesty made it a very lean cabinet. Only 11 people, and 8 of those are based here in the kingdom. So that those out there can only coordinate our work.
However, Emilio Odongo Wathum, the newly appointed Minister for General Duties and Secretary to the Cabinet Ministers, lauded the Alur Kingdom for having appointed him to the top positions in the kingdom.
Traditionally, the team shall be sworn in. After the swearing in, there will be the orientation of the new team, so that everybody takes note of their docket and what is required. Because we want this cabinet as the cabinet for the kingdom takeoff. It is true, expectations were so high over the last period, and certain things were not fitting well. This time, the king has looked at a smaller team that has a compatibility in the skills, in their networking levels, and the applicability. So when we look at out of the 11 cabinet members on which I am part of the list, we are a grounded team.
Grace Kushin Freedom, State Minister for Northern Uganda, was also appointed as senior advisor to the King on government affairs. Other cabinet ministers appointed to work with the King include David Onen, Minister for External Affairs, Captain Stephen Chunya-Ai, Minister for Defense and Security, Vincent Okaba, Senior Advisor on Business, Pascal Wapokra, Minister for Land, among others. Alur Kingdom is on high preparations for the 12th coronation anniversary scheduled for 30th October this year at the venue to be communicated later. Alfred Jawok, Westnile TV, NILE CAST.
And more in our stories. The Public Procurement and Disposal of Public Assets Appeals Tribunal has quashed the awarding of the tender of Arua Main Market to Maraka Investments Limited as the best evaluated bidder after Rama Engineering Company Limited petitioned the process. In the ruling, PPDA Appeals Tribunal in Gulun nullified the process and disqualified all bidders on accounts of no experiences. Henry Odama, the senior legal officer at Arua City, says the city has taken measures to re-advertise the tender as it takes charge of the revenue collections in the meantime. Let's have more on that story.
In the evaluation they did, their finding was that both bidders did not actually qualify for award in these procurement processes. This was as a result of some glaring procedural errors which marred the system. So both for Rama Engineering Limited and the Maraka were disqualified, and the city was advised to retender the process, the collection of the revenue, if it is so wished, in light of the decision of the PPDA Tribunal's Appeals Tribunal. And accordingly, the accounting officer is going to communicate on what to do in the interim. But one common decision that was already taken is to re-advertise the market in order to welcome bidders again to do the processes given the decision made by the tribunal.
And more in our stories. Chief Nyosul Achikule was crowned the chief of Ambala Aringa Kingdom by the Council of Elders on the 6th of August 2023. The newly coronated Chief Nyosul Achikule pledged to work together as a team in reviving the constitution and institution and the Lugbara cultural norms in the Ambala Aringa Kingdom. Osuta Yusuf reports. 9 years after the chieftaincy of Ambala Aringa Kingdom has been sharply contested, it generated divisionism between the factions of Nasur Achikule and Saidi Nasur Okuti, government officials and subjects in the area on the 6th of August 2023 after witnessing the Council of Elders installing Saidi Achikule as their chief. Dragoja Ashraf, a teacher by profession, advised the subjects in the kingdom to embrace formal education and also pledged to start teaching elders in Ambala Aringa Kingdom on how to speak English in order to avoid messing in administrative matters.
Baada ya magora mako ila mi skulu ngazi pifora idriseva au nuko mati digada elda mati dikitichiro adoskare elda mati di nikilu tiringati nikimundu andre elda baba ndiki mundu sa ringati beki dosikidina akode leto uta sukulu eli drabatu yale tigara rama drimba pila lode bani mukutimpa.
Muzamil Ezama, a subject of Ambala Aringa Kingdom, vowed to never disobey the newly crowned chief. He also stated that the people of Aringa Kingdom have finally gotten a leader who can unite them if there is any political disagreement.
I want to appreciate all the members for having taken this decision of giving the leadership, the cultural leadership of Aringa community to Mr. Achikule Naso today. We can never and will never disobey him, nor disagree with him. We shall always respect him and honor his decisions because we lack a credible leadership. At times politically we can disagree. There is no one who can unite us. Today we have got a leadership who can bring us together, regardless of our titles.
The newly coronated Chief Nasur Achikule pledged to work together with the team in reviving the constitution and Lugbara cultural norms in Ambala Aringa Kingdom.
We are here with the reason of peace. We are here with the reason of cultural institutions in this region. The cultural institution in this region was completely dead. But I think from today, of what I heard here from my elders here, the cultural institution in this region is now alive. It's now alive. And this leadership, it is you people who give it to me. But when it comes to the work, I'm going to work with you people. I cannot work alone. I'm going to work with you people. We're going to work as a team to make our cultural institutions in this region work.
The position of chieftaincy in the institution, which was incepted in the 1914, remained vacant until after the death of the first leader, Sultan Fadil Ali Adu I, who led from 1914 to 1934, then died in 1938. However, efforts by the subjects and the Council of Elders to install Achikule Nasur as a successor on the 18th of January 2014 were watered down due to sheer criticism and resistance from the factions of Saidi Nasur Okuti, who on the 13th of May 2014 filed a case before the High Court asking the court to stop the installation of Achikule as the chief of Ambala Aringa Kingdom. Osuta Yusuf and Dokumuringa Christine for Westnile Television, NILE CAST. And more in our stories. Parliamentarians call for urgent call in retrieving bodies of Lake Victoria boat tragedy victims. The tragic boat accident that struck Lake Victoria, leaving dozens dead, has prompted an outcry from the members of parliament representing the islands. As the search for the bodies enters into the 7th day, Grieving families have been left devastated and hopes for finding their remaining victims fading. The government is facing accusations of neglect as local fishermen have been left to scour the waters without any official assistance.
Welcome for the sports news on Westnile TV. My name is Owen Ezaga, and of course in our sports news today, Westnile province team prepares ahead of the game with Busoga that will be taking place in Germany on 27th of July, on 27th of August 2023. This game will be hosted in Paris Stadium, and of course a tour that was taken by the Westnile province head coach, president, and of course the media officer Toko Badru in the due course of the week yielded fruit. Let's have more from the story.
Westnile province is set to host its next FIFA drum game at Paris Stadium in Germany. The game will be up against Busoga province on 27th of this month 2023. In the last two games Westnile province has played, they went away to Busoga in Kamuli before hosting Bugisu at Ababet Green Stadium, the home ground for Ontoparaka Football Club in Arua City. 3 venues in Westnile region have been approved to host these games. That's Ababet Green Stadium of Ontoparaka, there is a Paris Stadium of Ajuman Town Council in Ajuman, and the last low ground of Nebi Central in Nebi District.
On the 19th is when we'll be on the way to Germany. On the 20th, we'll have our first training, and then they will be playing, build-up games that will be played in there. We intend to play a build-up game with the German Town Council, play Mali Select or Mali Awologo Select. I will also agreed as a team that the team should travel a week early. That means the team will be able to travel on the 19th of this month. That is about 12 days from today. And the team will be in there until when they play the game. The game will be at 4 p.m. on Sunday, the 27th of August 2023. A game at 4 p.m. We'll charge the game at 5,000 Uganda cedis, 10,000 Uganda cedis VIP. So Westnile province will be playing Busoga province at Paris Stadium, that is in Germany. The slogan or the hashtag is Busoga Kiadera, that means Busoga must fall.
Oraku Benson Pastore, Westnile Television Sports News.
Now, in other stories in the netball, the She-Cranes returned from the netball championship with Fred Mugera, who had a very big discussion in a discussion where Peter Ogwang, the sports minister, was involved. In this meeting, Fred Mugera, the head coach of Uganda's women team, threatened to quit the job as the head coach. Speaking to the grand reception held at Serena Hotel in Kampala on August 7th, Mugerwa shifted the celebratory atmosphere to a more sober tune. The occasion marked the return of the team over the 2023 Netball World Cup in Cape Town, where Uganda had an impressive performance, securing Africa's top spot and ranking 5th globally. Standing before the gathering include the Sports Minister Peter Ogwang. Mugerwa took a fourth straight right stance and openly aired his deep-seated frustration since assuming the role of the head coach 2 years prior. He was appointed out of the constant barrage of criticism and verbal abuse directly at him on social media. Mugera disclosed that despite his dedicated service, he has yet to receive any remuneration from the Uganda Netball Federation except for a mega sum of 500,000 Ugandan shillings received upon their return from Namibia. With that marks the end of our story today. Live on Westnile TV, my name is Owen Ezaga. Stay hooked for more of the programmings on Westnile Television.
Thank you, Owen Ezaga, for the sports news and the sports update. And with that, viewer, we've come to the end of the NILE Cast on Westnile Television. Thank you for being with us from the beginning of the NILE Cast to the end of the NILE Cast, only on Westnile Television. Please stay tuned to the rest of the subsequent programs that may follow. My name is Okumringa Christine. Have a good day.